Yo.
Yeah, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? One sec. You seem a little quiet.
Okay.
Okay, I turned it up a bunch. Can you say
Okay,
something?
hello. Can you hear me?
Okay. I just need to turn up my volume pretty high, but it's okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, how's it going, man?
I'm doing all right today. How about you?
I'm doing okay. I just like randomly slept really badly last night for like the
Oh
first time
yeah.
in a while, so it happens. But I'm feeling better already. You kind of like, even if you sleep bad, you kind of like wake up and you're like, I feel horrible, and then like an hour later, you're like, whatever. I'm just like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just doing my day.
Oh yeah, I felt terrible this morning too, but the weather's nice today, so
Yeah,
that,
same here. So I'm like, you know
yeah.
what, whatever. I'm gonna have a good day.
When the weather's bad though, it's so easy to just feel terrible all day.
Mm-hmm.
It took me so long to realize like how much the weather actually affects my mood.
I see. Okay, so what are we doing today?
Falco Puff. And like I feel like I have a good like foundation. It's kind of like built around yours and Ginger's like mixed together, but like maybe
Okay.
I'm not being super disciplined or I don't know. I feel like I'm good at it and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's fine, but when I lose the puff, I hate losing the puff so bad. So I just want to get really really solid at it, and just destroy all the puffs and never worry about it again, you
Okay.
know?
Okay. So what's like the stuff you take from each of our sort of like game plan ideas?
It's like mostly like your stuff is like the high laser stuff, you know? And then most of the ginger stuff just comes from like full hop aerialing.
Hmm.
I feel
Okay.
like that's like the two biggest things.
Okay.
There were some spots where I wasn't following your game plan completely because like
That's fine.
I got hit by like take laser fair, and I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if it's because like my lasers were too close or if I just wasn't protecting myself. Because I know you talk about like a dash out, dash in dare on the take laser fair, but like maybe I
Yeah.
was too close or something. So,
Okay.
I don't know. I'm interested to see.
Okay.
See what you think. Oh, my other issue is sometimes I'll spontaneously jump off the stage and die. So,
Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind.
because
Okay.
I think I do it at the beginning too. So,
Okay. Yeah. So I think these are definitely like too low. Like
yeah.
these are just never gonna really do much to her. So like you kind of might as well not even shoot them. And then honestly, it looks like you tried to shoot this one high, but it's honestly still kind of low.
Really,
Yeah,
shoot them
you
like early.
you really want to shoot like um an immediate laser. Like your
Yeah.
goal should be to kind of get these lasers as high as you can.
Okay. Okay.
When she's like you can kind of get away with this tidal laser like when she's grounded because I think if she full hops a lot of times it'll still hit her.
Yeah, that's the high lasers I was talking about.
Uh-huh. But like when she's kind of coming down on you, you need like the really high ones.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It'll just make defending against stuff like this a lot easier.
Right.
Okay, not super jazzed on the approaching laser here, but cuz it's like you're already at 9%, so you can die out of up the rest. And like um you basically like what are you gonna really get out of this, like maybe your best case is like approaching laser shine,
Yeah.
and like that's not nearly as good of a payoff as Puff's rest, so
Yeah, I think that might be a common theme, and you can point it out in the future because I think I do. Like, I see them shielding, I'm like, I want to hit you so bad, so I just like approaching laser at them.
okay, yeah, you really don't want to do that too much. You
Hmm.
can kind of get away with like cross up high aerials on her shield and stuff like
Okay,
that,
yeah.
or just like late aerial pressure.
Hmm.
And she does get shield poked pretty easily, so doing a bunch of shield damage to her is pretty good. I feel like, but like the approaching laser stuff, it's just the EV is really bad.
Right, right.
Okay. And yeah, these lasers just aren't high at all.
Okay.
Like this is like the lowest possible laser, which is fine when she's that far away. But then you mess up a laser, Another low laser.
Oh, yeah.
And this
That
is
one's
kind of like
mid.
why she's on top of you. Like, this is why this happened. Is like, so let's ignore this one. If this laser was high, this would have hit her. And it would have either forced her to double jump or go back to the ground, right? So this is like the significant mistake is like if you don't shoot this high laser, she can literally just get past your defenses and you have to play kind of like a mix-up in here.
Yeah.
And yeah, there it was again. Like, if you shoot this high laser, you just stop this approach right here, right there. If this laser is like here, it'll just hit her and it puts her in all kinds of like frame disadvantage. Okay. Yeah, definitely too many of the low lasers here. Because the thing is you're basically, it seems like you're basically like, well, why would I shoot a high laser if Puff is on the ground? Kind of. Is that kind of like what you're thinking?
No, I think I'm just shooting bad lasers. Because I understand the idea. It's like you're preventing her from jumping in the air and you can, like, lock her there.
Yeah, like, we don't actually mind if Puff is gonna, like, wave dash around a bunch.
I think maybe I was just like, oh, I'll shoot, like, high lasers as in, like, high hitting her shield. But, like, I just need to be shooting, like, way above her.
Yeah.
Like that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely all the lasers should be...
Like, I need to shoot before I fastball.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Like, I shoot and then I try to fastball like right after it comes out. But I'm just trying to get the lasers like as high as possible. Yeah, like that approaching laser is like still kind of scary.
You think it's even scary, like with a safe shield pressure mix-up? Like, because I just did shine, like, fade away.
Yeah, because like, what if instead of shielding this, Puff did like dash back on this laser? Okay, let's see it. Or like, let's even say she like tries to, yeah, like let's say she tries to dash back. She'll have been like here, and she'll ASDI the laser away. And then you might just literally, like, miss the shine and get grabbed by a Puff, like, right here.
So you think I should, like... well, maybe I shouldn't be going in at all, but, like, if I do a late down air, you think is better for locking?
Yeah, like, I just think aerial pressure is just way better. Like, the lasers kind of force her to only play against you in, like, neutral situations that are good for you. And then you just kind of play, like, laserless Falco type stuff against her.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because, like, laserless Falco kind of beats up Puff, but only in, like, certain ranges. So, like, that's kind of what the laser... Like, the lasers are there to be like, look, none of your plans are going to work, and the only time you get to interact with me is in the situations where laserless Falco beats Puff.
Yeah, because then, like, down air just, like, destroys everything she does, right?
Yeah, down air and back air are just like the Puff destroyers. Like he just kind of beats her with his moves. Like he just kind of outranges her because he has these big Falco moves.
Mm-hmm.
The high lasers are so important though. You're like not doing them at all.
Okay.
Like, because here's the thing. Like, what height does like the highest laser go at? It kind of goes like right here. Like it's a little bit under this side plat, right? But, like, look kind of where Puff's full hop goes. So, first of all, to hit this part of her full hop, you have this whole rising section before it goes, like, the laser will hit all of these frames. And then maybe she has a possibility to get over the laser for, like, a couple frames. And then all of these frames, all of those, she can get hit by the high laser. So, it's like you have this huge range of her coming up and coming down that all get hit by the high laser. And, like, first of all, it's like, it makes her face towards you, which is, like, a huge deal, because she completely loses access to back air. And then, second of all, you completely freeze her aerial drift, which is a pretty big deal for Puff. And that's why you can do, like, this high laser, dash back, dash in, down air stuff, because she's hit by the laser, her max drift is not very far forward, and the only move she can use to hit forward is, like, forward air. So that's part of why, like, laser is so insane.
Right.
Nice. I like the pressure. Yeah, be really careful about those approaching lasers against Puff.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I would just not. I just don't use them at all.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably just for the best. And I think that's one of my big things too, is like sometimes they do like maybe they get like a tiny wave dash or something before the
Mm-hmm.
laser. I shine, they up throw, I'm DIing down, and I get rested.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Exactly. Like, you just kind of want to avoid those situations entirely. And, like, just this stuff that Puff is doing, these full hops, this, right here, this full hop shouldn't work, ever.
Right. It should have gone hit.
100% should just be lasered every time. Because then, so, once you stuff the full hop in midair with, like, a laser, Puff has, she's actually pretty bad. Like, just in general, like, she has a hard time coming in at you because of, you know, more lasers, and also your moves kind of outrange her in a lot of ways. Like, up tilt beats her from above, back air beats her from the diagonal, all this type, you know, down air beats her from, like, all like, a lot of, like, pretty much everything else from, like, down, unless she gets the up air perfectly. So, like, the main issue with her when she's in the air is that she doesn't have good vertical. Like, once she's already in the air, she doesn't have access to her full hop. She basically just has that little, like, boop, boop, boop. And that makes her really slow at rising. So I actually really like when she has already full hopped and she's kind of, like, using her midair jumps. I just feel really comfortable with, like, the vertical spacing. And I honestly feel really comfortable in general because I'm like, well, she doesn't have her full hop. So, like, once she uses this, like, let's say she uses this back air or something. Maybe not perfect situation because I feel like she's about to, like, land. But basically the idea is, like, when she does this full hop, I could just, like, full hop to this top plat and I know she can't reach me. Like, she literally can't double jump and hit me out of this because her double jump is so bad. So, I'm just down to play a lot of these situations where, like, I'll, like, go to the side plat and she's kind of, like, using her double jumps because I feel like, you know, my short hop is bigger and I have these nice diagonal areas coming down with down air.
From the side plat, you said?
Yeah, once she's already, like, just any position where I'm even with her or above her and she's already in the air. Because her little jumps are so tiny that Falco kind of, like, controls the vertical space really hard.
So, like, if she does go up there, do you think, like, going to side plat or top plat is advantageous? Like, don't you think staying like, on the ground and sharking her is good too? Or what do you think?
Yeah. No, I do think that staying, like, the thing is, I'm not saying that, like, when this happens, you should immediately go to the top plat. More that, like, it'll happen quite a bit where maybe, like, I don't know, she's, like, here and you're in the corner and she does, like, short hop back air and you, like, full hop, or like, you full hop and she does full hop back air but you barely get out of the way and then she kind of, like, starts double jumping at you, like, right here. Just, like, know that you have, like, a really big advantage there.
Right.
So it just kind of makes Falco a little bit more comfortable because sometimes people feel like, well, I win this, but then, like, it can't be great up here because she's gonna, like, shark me for rests or something. But, like, you just have, like, a really good advantage because of Falco's short hop here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I go to the side plat much at all in this matchup.
It's
I don't.
Yeah, it's hard to describe. It's not really like you just want to always be there, but it's really good.
Yeah. I know Ginger shoots the lasers and then like full hop lasers and then like lands on the side plat a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that nair you did was really good. These lasers are good, except for these.
Like once she's too close.
These were good, but then like here, you shouldn't be jumping and shooting these again because she's already too close.
That's when I could like maybe go to top plat or something.
Yeah, probably. Like if you're stuck like in this spot. Well, I mean, it's because you were already kind of fine like before you jumped.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like right here. If you had just done like another high laser right here, where like how's she gonna approach through like a whole wall that's right here? You know, because like the laser has this hitbox through kind of the whole thing. Like there's like 4 different laser hitboxes, and it covers this really. So it covers this really big range, and so I almost think of it as like a moving wall.
It's like a moving platform.
Yeah, it's like a moving platform that kind of like if she lands on it, she gets stunned, and I get like a big frame advantage, and she gets worse drift and facing at me and all this stuff.
When do you think I should like turn my back and like set up a back air? Is that more when she's like a little bit closer and at the 45-degree angle?
Yeah, pretty much. Like you can kind of turn like you can kind of get away with turning your back either if she's like right above you or like directly above you, or she's kind of like a lot of times they'll like full hop and you'll like high laser, and they try to do this thing where they try to like basically they use up her first 2 midair jumps, which are kind of bigger than the last 3, and like each of them is like bigger than the previous ones. And so what they'll do is they'll do like full hop, take laser, double jump, take laser, double jump, take laser, and then what happens is like the next one they'll do like double jump nair, and that one is actually too fast for you to laser again. And this actually is like something that that they'll use a lot. I don't know if you've ever played Haunter, the jigs, but
from my region too.
He exclusively uses that, like to a point where it's not even good anymore because it's all he uses. Like he kind of like overuses it.
And then at that point, you think turning your back is good?
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll be like laser and they jump, and I do laser and they jump, and I do laser and they jump, and then I know that they're gonna do like the short jump thing, and so I just like laser turn my back, and I get ready for them to like try to nair in on me, and then I either back air or up tilt it when that happens. And it's just kind of like that's just like a general, you have full protection from her approaches if you do that sort of thing.
That's cool. Yeah, because I knew that her jumps were get shorter, but I almost thought of it as a negative and like never as like an approaching mix-up kind of. Like I never.
Yeah, it definitely hurts her for like fighting you on the platforms. Mm-hmm. But then it definitely helps you, or helps her to like get in on you. A lot of times they try to put the nair out here, like they'll double jump, quick nair, and you just have to be really aware of that. Like as a Fox player, I would I don't know, I would kind of count her jumps like a little bit, but as Falco, you have to actually know her jump count all the time, because it like determines literally like how you react. Like if she has used these jumps before, I can't do high laser because I will get punished, and that's just like something you need to learn.
Okay.
And yeah, the lack of high lasers, good in air. All of your aerials, like the nairs and stuff, hitting her out of the air have been pretty good. But yeah, okay, one sec. It's just the lasers being in the wrong spot kind of like
ruin everything.
Yeah, they kind of
yeah, no, I'm seeing it now, and it's like
they kind of like turn a lot of the situations, because like kind of the point of the lasers is like you're like, well, Puff can create all of these situations. Like she can create 100 situations, but all 100 of those reduce into these 4 post high laser situations.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what the matchup is like, well, first you high laser her, and then you like the situation off of high laser is winning for Falco. And so you're like, okay, so the matchup kind of becomes like, what can Puff do to get around the high laser into favorable mix-up for Falco type thing?
Yeah, it's like I got the memo, but it was like a game of telephone. I just read mid laser or something.
Yeah,
yeah,
no, they need to be like high. Okay, good back air. Oh, this was really good. This is like, I would have told you to do exactly this if I had like if I was going frame by frame. I think that was really good. Or a down air here. Like, just drifting back and downing it. But this is totally good. Like, this is totally good. And so, okay, so there's just, like, a lot of spots like this where this laser's already out. She can't really jump because of this one. And so what I would do here is I would actually approaching high laser. And so there's kind of... I've been thinking about this a lot lately. There definitely needs to be, like, different terminology between, like, big cross-up approaching laser, approaching right onto the opponent laser, and, like, taking space approaching laser. And I feel like those three don't really get, like, differentiated enough. People usually just talk about, like, approaching laser. And the one that's good against Puff is take space approaching laser. Because, like, you know, she's in the corner. Puff is bad in the corner. We all know this, right? Like, Puff is really strong when she has you cornered because she can read your jumps and gimp you, or read your shield and forward throw you, or read your roll and rest you, all this kind of stuff. Whereas, like, if she's in the corner, you know, what is she? Oh, she back-aired me, and I go to the other side, and then I run over, and she back-airs me, and I go back, and then I run over, and she back-airs me. You know, like, she struggles a lot when her opponent is in center and she's in the corner. So when you get Puff into this cornered situation, this should definitely be something that you kind of jump at, that you want. And so the nice thing is that you're like, you get this little calculation of, like, if Puff does her maximum forward grounded movement, which is like dash, wave, dash, where will she generally be? And I can't tell you exactly where, probably like right here or something. And like basically your goal should be you want to approaching laser to prevent her from jumping, and then just land at a range where if she did move forward a lot, she can't grab you. And as long as she can't grab you and you locked her down, you've pretty much guaranteed that after one approaching laser, she'll either be grounded in the corner or like grounded and slightly less in the corner, and you'll be like here, and then you have a favorable mix-up where you can either play your mix-up with your aerial, you can move back with another high laser, etc. Like you just have like a very advantageous position.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, good. These need to be high lasers. All of these should be high. I don't even care that Puff is like because if Puff is on the ground, you know, it's like you're trying to punish Jigglypuff when she's already in jail. It's like her being on the ground is already really bad for her. Like she's kind of like cornered positionally, but just because she's stuck to the ground. So this is like you want her to just stay on the ground. So by like her being on the ground and you like lasering her on the ground, you're basically asking her to jump over the lasers. Which is the exact opposite of what you want. You don't want Puff up here. You want her locked to the ground. And so that's why it's like, she's on the ground. I know you're like, I want to hit her with my lasers. But we don't need to hit her. We just need to put a ceiling, and then we get full control of the spacing of the stage while creating a ceiling until we get to this nice, slightly out of grab range where we just completely destroy Puff with aerials.
Yeah.
Bad approaching laser.
Bad approaching laser, yeah. I need to get rid of that for sure.
Gotta be a little careful right here on this down air. Like, the majority of the time, this down air will work, but you are at literally the perfect percent to die to up air rest if her up air wins. And you gotta be careful of that. Like,
it does, right? Sometimes it does just win, like, randomly.
The up air will win randomly, yeah. And the up air actually like should win in terms of like how big the hitbox is, but like it kind of, you know, like moves across, and it's hard for her to get the exact right piece of it while her hand is moving. One sec. Okay, okay. Sven, don't post spoilers in here. Get out of here. Okay. Sorry. But okay, let's see, where was I? So yeah, the down air. So basically this up air is Like, so, 23, I'm pretty sure the up air knocks down at like 20, right? Something like that. It's either 20 or very close to 20. And basically, when you're at like 70 or 80 or something like that, her up air is completely useless. Honestly, even if you're at like 60 a lot of times, the up air is kind of useless. She can maybe get like an up air fair or an up air, but it's not really that good. It's not an up air rest. And like especially if you're at like 80, up air becomes useless. Like Puff has like pufferitis against Falco, where basically she can't kill Falco at 0, and this is kind of her thing. She does one hit into looking for up the rest, or she gets 2 hits into pound looking for rest, or if you're at like 23, she'll look for, up air rest.
Mm-hmm.
And like this percent, like basically, like 20 to 30, she'll look for up air rest. And it's like, past that, when you're at like, 40, maybe she can kind of sneak in an up air rest or an up throw rest. When you're at like 80, nothing works. So like as your percent grows, your confidence against Puff from angles like this can like hugely grow. Because she doesn't have like a counter. If she up airs you and you were at 80, you would just pop up and you would just recover, and it's totally fine.
And I know you talk about crouching a lot against Puff too. Do you still think that's really good?
Crouching is definitely good
Like
against
CCing,
Puff, yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, crouching is definitely good against Puff. It depends on the situation, but it is definitely good. I think, like, it's more that there are, like, spots where you can kind of just, like, if you're in a bad spot in the corner or something, you can crouch, and then if she, like, back airs, like, basically, if you're at high percent and you crouch and she back airs, it'll do that thing where you, like, ASDI down it and slide off, and then you just side B to edge. It's less about, like, crouching her at 0 and then hitting her type thing.
Yeah. It's just about like surviving.
Yeah, at high percent, you just crouch the back airs, you survive all of them, you can drop on her. But at 23 right here, I don't really like this down air because if her up air 1, you lose your stock. And you could kill her out of this, but it's just, like, not the best spot to do that down air.
Got it.
Okay, kind of got stuck trying to recover here. Okay, good. That was good. Like, this general, like, I'm going to keep Puff in the corner and, like, get my walled back air type thing. You were just, like, a little bit over eager on it.
So
I don't try to hit Puff with this back air, like, while she's rising. Because, like, so basically her options here are double jump, and then obviously this will miss the empty double jump, and then she'll kind of like wait, and then she'll drift in with like a nair or something like that. Or what she could do is she can do the double jump like fair, but if she double jump fairs right here, she's gonna miss you and you can bear on reaction.
okay, yeah.
So either she's gonna use an aerial to like boost forward, and then you can just hit her on reaction, or she's not going to be there yet. Like what happened there. Okay. Yeah, like at this percent, like full hop down there, dropping down there, like what is she even going to do to you?
Yeah.
Like her up air is useless, like so this becomes like basically this situation, it becomes so Falco favored. Like she struggles big time here. Because the lasers are just as strong. She still struggles a lot to, like, get positions she wants. And then, dude, this is rough for her, too, because she comes back, she still doesn't have any kills on you.
Yeah.
A lot of times when Falco's at this, she ends up nickel and diming you to, like, 150. It's very dangerous for her. And then you have your laser setup. See, this is the situation that shouldn't be happening, is, like this one right here where you're kind of like getting pressured like this. That's where the high laser comes in really well. For example, like right here. So you do this, dash back, where is it? This laser. Where if this laser was high, this is 100% gonna hit her, like, right about, here probably. Or, like, it would have hit her, because you would have shot it a little earlier, because it would have been high, so it would have hit her, like, here, most likely. And then you get, like, a nice spot where you hit her with it. Oh, I'm gonna dash full hop down here, And then I get to the top plat, and it's like, haha, like, I'm in a good spot. And yeah, being in the corner will happen sometimes, but you don't really want to super corner yourself for free. Remember, Puff is really good when has you cornered, and she's really bad when she's in the corner. So I think like Ginger said it pretty well, where he was like, yeah, like the corner's not great for Falco against Puff, just like it's not great for any character against Puff, but Falco is better at protecting himself in the corner than any of the other characters. So it's kind of like not as bad for Falco, mostly because of the lasers.
I also feel like it's just so easy to get out of the corner
With like the full hop stuff.
And then
yeah.
I just run under or whatever.
So that's the thing, is like it is like, yeah, you can get out of the corner and you can stop her from pressuring you in the corner, but it's still not like, if you're in center and you're playing, she's not gonna kill you at this percent ever. Like a back air, even if you don't floor hug and she back airs you, you'll just fly out here and recover, easy peasy. Whereas if you're off stage and she hits you, she has a lot more options. Let's see. I don't know. In certain spots like this, I will a lot of times read that she's not gonna like tech it, because I did down air her when she was grounded, Like her odds of teching it perfectly are not huge. So I do right here a lot of times go for double down air.
Yeah, and Puff mains missed it like 90% of the time.
Yeah, I do it quite a bit where like you confirmed before going for this down air, but I would just down air a lot of times. You get a lot of really juicy stuff off of it. Yep, this is good. Yeah, like this whole sequence, you're not necessarily... Here's the thing, this whole sequence, you're not doing anything where I'm like, wow, that was really good. But you're not doing any of the stuff that's wrong, and so Puff just can't really hit you, except for, you're not shooting the high laser. But this one was high, and look at this wonderful situation it creates for you. She's like, bam, and it's like, what's she gonna do? Like, drift into you and get down aired, drift back. So it kind of sets her up in a bad spot. Yeah, and it feels like you have this idea. You can tell me you're messing these up all day long, but I can feel it. You want to laser her. Like, because you shoot this high laser, and you're like, oh, it missed. I'm going to shoot a low laser and hit her.
I think that you're right, and I think, like, part of the thing is, like, this player specifically is always crouching, so I'm like, oh, they're, like, high on her,
Right.
So, yeah, but they're definitely just not high enough.
Well, because kind of the thing is, like, if the Puff is just sitting there crouching, you get to set up your perfect range for free. Because that's the whole thing. Falco has a range on the ground, where if Puff is grounded and Falco is grounded next to her, you can tell Falco wins that, right? Like, you can just feel it. Like,
Do you think it's specifically just out of, like, wave dash in grab? Is that what range you're talking about specifically?
No, it's like you're outside of her shield grab range, and full hop fair out of shield might hit, but not necessarily. Like, kind of when you're, like, right here, where you can kind of threaten a cross-up aerial, and you can kind of... She can't really hit you with full hop fair out, and you might back air it if she does. And, like, you're basically threatening these down airs and shield pressure and cross-ups and, like, all this stuff here. She just doesn't have a good time in those positions. And she can wave dash and grab, but, like... Puff has a 5-frame jump squat, 10 landing frames, 15 frames, and grab is 7. So wave dash and grab is on frame 22. And it's like, she needs 22 frames where Falco is not down airing her. And she's just Huh?
I was just gonna ask if you think it's important to protect yourself with like in place downers, like every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the in place downers. She can't
Okay.
punish it. Like, it's kind of just like you're. Um, hmm. Think of it maybe more like I don't know how well do you know the Luigi matchup?
I know it like decently well.
So you know that feeling where like you're kind of dancing right around Luigi, and like if he hard reads you coming in, he can like nair you, right, and do something like nasty. But then like if he doesn't really hard read you coming in, you can just kind of laser and like dash dance right next to him, and he can't really do anything without like committing to this wave dash in type thing.
Yeah.
Like Puff is like that, but worse because she doesn't have nair out of shield, and her wave dash is slower and smaller.
I guess I should kind of treat her a little bit like Luigi then, especially if like they love wave dashing, right? It's like a wave dash character with a bad wave dash.
Like a horrible wave dash.
Yeah.
great,
Yeah, I
great
didn't think
jump
about it
squat
like
because she
that.
can like duck. Like it
Oh
ducks
yeah,
really
her
low.
jump
That's
squat's
awesome. Yeah,
insane.
the
Yeah.
jump squat and her waveland land, like all of her landing and jumping are so strong. But like ultimately, like if you just think about it frame data wise, all of her like aerials lose to Falco aerials because they're just slower than his aerials. Like all of his aerials come out sooner. All of his aerials have better positioning. Like his dash dance is better than hers. Like his wave dash is I think better, honestly. Like his wave dash goes pretty far. Like she just doesn't have a lot of like very good tools against him when they're kind of fighting it out. Puff's way that she wants to play the matchup is that Falco is kind of lasering and he kind of wants to keep her out for a long time. And he's scared of the rest and he's lasering and he's keeping her out. And then she finally sneaks in and gets like a rest kill. Like I gave a lesson to Toussaint on the matchup from the Puff end a while ago. And that helped him out a lot. It's just kind of playing
That
like.
one a bit.
Huh?
I listened to a bit of that one.
Okay, yeah. And basically.
And I
Yeah,
also listened to the one where you referenced that one.
okay,
It was like
sick.
some other Falcon build.
yeah, that's sick.
I've seen a few of your analysis, so like,
Mhm.
I have a general idea. But
Okay.
I guess I'm just not following it, which is frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, it's more that I'm just kind of like trying to. It's not that you're really not following it. I think you're just not following it super like well enough. Like it feels like you understand a lot of the positions, and I think that like the high laser thing is really like what's kind of messing you up. But like I feel like you kind of understand this aerial position because you're playing around it. Like you understand that when you laser her with this laser, this one, and this is the type of approaching laser that's kind of good, although it would have been fine if it was high, is like basically she is locked in this position. So there's you could have locked her in this position with a high laser because she's kind of stuck here anyway, but the low laser is like she's physically stunned in this position. So you just kind of know that you can down air and like you're safe back here. It's fine. And you shield because you know you're safe. So it's just like when you're in close, you can kind of feel intuitively that Falco's aerials beat her up like that. Like you can kind of tell, like, oh yeah, I can just like late back air her here and then shine the grab, like easy. And it's like that's kind of what you want. Like it's kind of like, okay, what are her options? Well, she can be above me, kind of walling, like, not walling, but she can be chucking out aerials and drifting everywhere. And it seems like you already know how to beat that. Like, when she's chucking out aerials and drifting everywhere, you, like, full hop aerial and you kind of hit her out of it. So you have that part. And then when she's on the ground, it doesn't look like you're, like, super scared of her grabbing you or anything on the ground, which is what she wants. You look pretty confident and you're down to kind of play it out with, like, aerials and stuff like that. So that's good. The only part that's really not great is the laser part of it, out of like the three major parts. And the punish is like a little weak.
Do you think there's anything specifically there I could be doing better?
You gotta go for the repeated down airs.
Yeah.
Like repeated down air is like the combo on Puff. That's kind of like what you want.
Yeah, the one that like hits her get up attack.
Yeah, but like a lot of times the get up attack is more of like a the nail in the coffin type thing on you down airing over and over, because it's basically just that like she has kind of a hard time teching like downer, 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 especially like if she misses one of them, and like there's just like a bunch of situations where you down air and then she just techs, and it's like the easiest tech chase ever because she has these garbage little tech rolls, right? And so you're like, oh nice, you just get a tech chase on her tech roll, and you down air her again, and then you get down air again. You know, like you can actually you can take like entire stocks off of Puff with like down air type mix ups. And like even Zane is getting in on it with like Marth, where he's doing down air on Puff, right? Like you probably saw that in like his not recent, but like his most recent H-Box set, is that he hit like the quad down air as Marth or something. And it's like Falco can do that, but way better.
Do you think you're like 50-50ing like a tech in place versus reacting to a tech roll?
I mean, yeah, probably. It's not like a oh you can just perfect combo Puff with this. It's kind of like you need it like what's the perfect way to describe it? It's that's a bad example. I don't know. It's like not a true thing, but it's something that can hit Puff, and she needs to be worried about the fact that you want it, and it's kind of hard for her to avoid it, and you also don't really have any other options.
I think, at least the way that I do it in my head, is like I'll down air her, and then I'll do the down air that covers like 2/3 of the options or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
a roll and a tech in place. Is that kind of what you're talking about, or do you like?
Yeah, like that's
watch
fine.
her?
No, it's like it's kind of however you want to do it.
Okay.
It's kind of freeform. Just try to like whip out the down airs as fast as you can, and kind of just do your best to react to what's happening. It's more of like a super Falco favored neutral loop than like a combo.
Okay, yeah. I'll practice it too.
It's just like, let's say you downer her at like 40 and she pops up. It's like you nair her. You're not going to get another area. Like, you're not Fox, you know? You don't get to run all the way across the stage. And so your options are kind of like, okay, I guess, like, get a shine and hope she gives me a DI off the top. Or pretty much just down air. Like, you can up air, I guess. But, like, down air is the only thing that, like, basically, think of down air less as a combo and more of, like, it's a stray hit. Like, it gets damaged just like a nair or a back air does. But it has some chance of hitting her again. And it basically creates, like, an execution test on her to tech every down air. And she can't reactively, tech every down air. And there's also a lot of situations where Puff can't, like, ASDI down Falco's down air. I don't know the exact percentage of it. But there's definitely spots where, like, you can down air her and she can't reactively tech. Like, let's say she, like, I don't know, full hop fares, and then, like, as her fare is rising, you down air her into the ground. She's not going to tech that, like, ever. And so you can just instantly down air again, and it'll almost always pop her up. And then you get either another down air, an up air, or a back air, stuff like that. So it's kind of like your main combo move in the matchup.
Do you think at higher percents it's like good to try to like mix in a forward smash or something to kill her earlier?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, because I don't think I do that either.
100%. Yeah, mix in the forward smash. Down tilt at certain percents can kill, especially on the stage. But yeah, definitely mix in the forward smash. It's kind of like I said, it's kind of like you're still playing the game. So if there's a spot where you know she misses tech and you think maybe she's gonna DI away because she thinks you're gonna shine or something, then yeah, you can do it. You can even do like down air up tilt sometimes and stuff like that. It's not like a set in stone type of thing, but it is. Down air is just the only move that sets you up for anything. None of your other moves set you up for anything even possible. And that's kind of why the down air is so good. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. See, even like at this spot, you kind of make a bad spacing decision with this laser. But it's still kind of hard for Puff to deal with it. Because Falco kind of like short hops over her grab and stuff like that. I don't know. She just has a really hard time grabbing him. Okay, so this is kind of the only time that I'm down with this low laser, is like when Puff has basically declared, I am going to be crouching on the ground forever. Please come over here so I can power shield rest you and think I'm good at the game. That's like what they're kind of thinking. And so this is the only time, because you can do low laser and then like approaching high take space laser right here, and she's just kind of out of luck. And you kind of did this. Like, it was kind of this, where you hit her, and then you kind of do this laser, which kind of basically works out to be a high laser. And then, like, you can feel how advantageous this is for you. So you just kind of, like, dash dance Ariel a little bit, and she can't... Like, notice that you're not getting punished for these. There's a reason for that. Oh, that was so good. Ooh.
And that was the up air beating the down air there.
Yeah, and this is why you gotta be really careful, like, down airing onto Puff. At like 20 to 40, it's really not what you want to do, because
you think like disengaging the side plat there is just probably the best.
Let me see. Yeah, there's a bunch of things you can do. You can just like short hop any direction off the top plat, or you know, just like full hop over here or something. You should be fine. Like, yeah, but just basically, like, return to neutral there. There's not really, like, a win you're gonna get. This spot, you can kind of 50-50 to get a kill here, because she's gonna survival DI. So if she's DIing, like, up and to the right, and that's her way to, like, live this back air. But, like, if you, in this position, jump up and do a down air, she'll land on the platform and you get a tech chase, which you can kill out of.
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, and it's because she's survival DI in the back here that it works. Like, she's for sure going to land on this side plat. And it's just like a potential mix-up to kind of think about. It just gives you a little bit more than, like... It makes her worry a little bit more, too. Because it's not as simple as, like... Oh, I'm in this position... I live the back air here, so therefore I do not care what Falco does to me, you know? And I don't really like that they get to feel safe. I want them to always feel threatened. Yeah, so definitely the biggest issue is like the lasers, like going for the approaching lasers and not doing the high lasers. Everything else honestly looks pretty okay, or like totally fine for like the level you're playing at. So I would say that is definitely the thing, is don't approaching laser and make sure you actually high laser. The low lasers you're doing, like I was kind of explaining, they do have uses here and there, but they need to be like, I am specifically departing from the high laser that I do 99% of the time to do this one low laser. Like that's kind of like when low laser is worth it. Oh, look at how good this high laser is.
Yeah, every time I do it, it's like...
You hit this high laser, oh, it hits this huge range, and she's like, I'm totally stuck. And then she air dodges, and bam. Okay, let me get the second Slippy file. Got this cute dog from Reddit.
I like the dog.
Okay. Okay. And also, yeah, look at these, like, Puff is just so bad when shielding Falco. Like, she can't grab this, you know? And that's just brutal. She just gets outspaced. I definitely think, like, just be careful. Like, you don't want to fight with lasers. So, like, I talk to people about this in, like, a lot of matchups where, like... And I just talk about this concept a lot in general. Like, you don't want to fight with lasers like they're a baseball bat. Like, you don't want to, like, hold the baseball bat in your hand that is lasers and then run at people and hit them with it. You kind of want to, like, throw the baseball bat at them. Like, you're just like, these lasers will fight for me. Like, go Go, my soldiers, fight for me, you know? And
Um,
so, like, you want you want your lasers to win the battle for you without you risking yourself.
all
And approaching lasering onto someone is like, yeah, like you're literally running at someone with a gun, like it's like your laser gun, and you're trying to hit them at melee range with it. And it's like it kind of defeats the purpose of like a ranged weapon.
yeah, yeah.
And so in your head, you're like, yeah, it's a baseball bat, but it's not really like a melee type. Like you don't really want to fight with it. You want to stay safe and be kind of like, yeah, like let your little minions fight. And it feels kind of like, I don't know, not manly or something. But like, it doesn't matter because you'll be the one winning. But I like,
You want to win.
there is like some resistance that I can feel when I talk to people about it, where they're like, yeah, but I mean, at some point I want to fight them. And it's like, nah.
Oh, no,
You
I'm
just
all aboard
you want to win the whole
the
match
winning
with
train.
just you want to win the whole match with just lasers. And so like when you're in these spots where it's like you don't need to fight with lasers here, and like you could have just died.
Yeah, that's a terrifying.
What you want
screenshot.
is you want your lasers to do a bunch of damage to Puff. You want her to struggle. You want her to flounder. You want to be like, dude, I can't get close to you because every time I try, I get lasered. I just keep taking laser damage. Every now and then, I get stray aerialed. And you want it to kind of be that feeling for Puff from, like, the moment the game starts. Like, from the moment the game starts, you want her to just be like, ow, ow, ow. Keep getting lasered. Ow, ow. Get over here, Falco. And you're like, no. How about a back here? And then, ow. Ow! She keeps getting laser, and then down her, down her, down her, down her, and she's like, dude, like, that's kind of like the feeling you want. So you don't want
Yeah.
this feeling of like, oh, like, we're kind of on even footing, and I'm gonna, like, great, this is a super good, like, spacing laser, but you don't want to be like, yeah, we're kind of on equal footing, and, like, you know, Puff Falco's even. It's like, no. we don't play Puff Falco like it's even anymore. We play it like Falco 70-30s her. So it's kind of like when you play against, like, a low-tier character, you know? When you're like, man, there's no reason to, like, let this character hit me with their gimmicks, you know? And that's kind of a similar situation here. Right here, there's no reason to tech this. You can just slide off down air her.
I don't know why I teched. I think I might have been trying to shield or something.
That's fair. Makes sense.
Yeah. I don't usually tech. I usually think I slide off.
So yeah, just remember, instead of doing an approaching laser onto her, you want to do approaching laser to get within the range where Falco just beats her with his aerials.
Yeah.
And then also, look at this. If this was a high laser, you get high laser nair or high laser down air, down air. Like, you could have taken her stock, literally. I'm not saying you should have. But if you hit this high laser and instant down air, you might actually get down air, and she'll die. Okay, good falling back air. Because, like, I don't know, you know the feeling when you're playing, like, I don't know if you've ever played, like, Mango or something like that. You play, like, and it just feels like you're like, okay, we're going to play the neutral right, and then they're just on top of you already, and you're already in, like, a bad spot. That is kind of what you want to do with the lasers against Puff, where, like, the lasers are just kind of annoying her, and then, like, before she really realizes what's happening, you're in a strong position. That's kind of, like, what you want them to be. Is, like, they can...
Approaching laser that's, like, you space outside of their range. Right?
Yeah, like, you just approaching laser... And then they're like, oh no, Falco's literally, like, at my door, like, instantly. And that's kind of the feeling you want, of, like, you can kind of, like, when she wants to come for you, she can't get over to you. You're just gonna high laser, she has all these really bad approach options, and then the second she, like, kind of takes a back foot for a second, you've already put a ceiling over her head, and she's trapped between the, like... There's a laser over her head, the ledge is behind her, and Falco is in front of her dash dancing. It doesn't get scarier. Because then a lot of times she shields, and then you kind of back off and shoot one more laser, and then she's like, oh no, now I can get shield poked by the down air, and it's just like, it kind of spirals. And then for stuff like this is kind of a tricky spot with like this. A lot of times I'll do, like, it's because it's awkward because you hit like this retreating high laser here. Like, I might have just like tried to turn around up tilt after that laser. It was not immediately obvious what to do, but I think if you would turn around up tilt here, you would have won. Yeah, you would have won this with turn around up tilt. Kind of ambiguous, I guess. There's a few ways you probably could have won this if you were like super fast, but definitely was not a super simple situation. And when stuff like that happens, honestly, just don't worry about it too much. Like, I want you to like mainly focus on just like reducing the matchup down into like these kind of simple situations, and then like there will be like weird chaotic situations that kind of go outside of that, but like that probably only accounts for like 5% of the matchup or something. So if you're like 95% of the time you're locking Puff down and getting her into the situations you want, that's what I want you to like worry about, not as much like those weird border cases like that.
Okay.
Because honestly, no Puff has solved all those little border cases either. So you're kind of just going to be in an even type of scrambly position with them there. Someday, both sides will probably have those positions solved, and Falco will just win them, so it's not a big deal.
True.
Like, I'm not really bothered by, oh, this is what you want. Oh, this is the good stuff. Not this laser necessarily, but this kind of feeling where you're in close, and, like, she's just kind of like right, like basically after this approaching laser, when you're in here, where you like shine, and then you do the back air, and then she rolls, and you get this down air, and then you get this. Like, yeah, that's super good. And honestly, you can
feel like
sometimes here you can just double down air.
Okay, yeah.
She might have been slightly too early %, but I'm not sure. Puff is really light.
No, you can. I was testing it
At 20, yeah, and you late down aired also, so you're definitely going to be able to down air there. But this is also totally fine. This is completely fine.
So you think like the only difference between that like pressure sequence that probably I should have done better is like if I do want to go in there, it should have been a dare, right, and not the laser.
Yes, like you're doing this and you're like approaching here. I would have like, she's at 8%. Yeah, I would have like late down aired her shield here for sure. And then done shine, jump over back air, and then done this, basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then right here, I also, you kind of, because remember Puff is kind of bad in the corner, right? The only place where Puff is even worse than in the corner is off stage. So, it's funny because, like, I'm like, yeah, Puff is really bad off stage. And it's like, bro, pretty sure Puff is the best character in the game off stage. You know? But it's like, she is in the sense that, like, you aren't gonna edge guard her. So she is the best in that sense. But she can't land. Like, she doesn't have any potential wave lands. She doesn't have the ability to, like, up air and quickly L cancel it and rest you. Like, she doesn't have the ability to like full hop. She doesn't have the ability to like hit you off stage because she'll just hit you back towards center. And especially at low %, she's a really bad character in this position. Basically just, you have a hyper advantageous neutral here. And so the rule against Puff is kind of similar to the rule against Peach, where you kind of just want to prevent her from getting more centralized than you. And this is something like, you know, PPMD did way back in like 2015, is he would just make sure that Puff was not more centralized than him here. So going for these like lasers, they don't really do too much. I would more want to do something where I like full hop here, and I kind of threaten a double jump back air, which will force her to like drift lower. Because remember, and this is super important here, once she gives up the height, she can't get it back. So once you can convince her to fall a little bit, she's not getting back up here. She doesn't have the ability to return to this position. So if you kind of do a full hop here, and you kind of... Because she's going to be doing these aerials because she wants her big drift, right? So she's most of the time going to be kind of stuck in lag here. So when you full hop, like, you do like a backflip up here or something like that, she doesn't want to try to press over you, because then she'll just get hit by a double jump aerial. And if she just stays where she is, she's just going to get double jump back aired. So most of the time she'll like finish up her fair lag and drift back. And then you're like, oh, now I'm here. And then, you know, maybe she'll jump here and you full hop up again. And she's like, oh no. And then she ends up kind of coming back in this range, which is where, you know, you get the laser, ledge grab back air. Not even necessarily just that, you get to kind of just stand by the edge and spam short hop back air and lasers and stuff. And you can end up getting a lot more percent out of this. And then even ending up in a position where maybe you're like here and Puff is on the ledge and you're kind of pressuring her with lasers. And, you know, that's a good spot.
That's good, because I haven't thought about her like being up there as being like, oh, I need to like try to keep her in the corner, and 'cause I'm still keeping her in the corner, right?
Yeah, and okay, so like right here, I know you really expected her to like tech, but this is kind of like, if you just did one more down air here, you probably take the stock. If you just did an instant down air right here. So going for the tech chase is fine. Okay, that was nice. But going for the tech chase is fine, but I do want you to be like, I want you to experiment with like dare, like as fast as you can, and just see what comes of that.
That's a big thing, yeah.
Okay, we're about at an hour now. So, what are your thoughts? Do you have any final questions, or like, what is your like general takeaway?
I mean, we both know the general takeaway.
Right? Definitely. Okay, but do you have any questions?
I think the only other thing I feel like I struggle with in the matchup is like sometimes she's just at like 130 or something, and she's just holding shield, and I'm just like, I just don't.
When
know how to
she's at
kill her
130?
sometimes, yeah. I feel like, because I don't. Maybe I should just grab her still to try to decentivize.
Nah, I mean,
her shield,
all right. Let's solve this problem with what we talked about during the lesson, because we actually went over this situation in the lesson. So you remember you have like this aerial pressure you can do, and back air will kill her out of any situation, and her shield is very easily pokeable. So her shielding is not a problem, because you can just make sure she doesn't jump, dash dance, make sure she doesn't jump, and wear down her shield without ever interacting.
Okay, yeah.
Like she's in completely like a losing position. She does not like shield does not beat Falco. Shield just gets smaller over time and gets worse and worse.
I think my issue was just I was like, I need to kill her, and then I'll force an interaction and die.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I can just keep playing the game normally,
and that's kind of the only thing that wins. Like she's just like, pick a number 1 to 100, and she's like 37, 37, 37. And if you jump into her and throw out an aerial, she's like 37. And if you do anything else and just play the game normally, she has a 0% chance of success.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But okay, yeah, good lesson, man. It was fun talking. I think that was a pretty productive conversation.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do one for a while, but maybe in a few months I can do another one.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. I'll send you the Venmo stuff, I guess, unless you already have it.
Just go ahead and DM me, and
then,
great. I'll pay it. Yeah.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thanks a lot. It was fun.
Yeah. Peace. Bye.
See ya.